there. Welcome to the HearHerHands knitting podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I will be your host. I am a knitter, crocheter, sewer, and sewist and quilter. There we go. Hi there. Welcome to the HearHerHands knitting podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I am a knitter, crocheter, sewist, and quilter located in Baltimore, Maryland, where I live in a row house with my partner, my 3 miniature schnauzers, and 2 black cats. So here, in my little corner of the internet, I like to come to you every week or every other week, the best I can, and talk about what I'm knitting, how it's going, what I'm looking at casting on next. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a bingo plan podcast and share 1 finished object and 3 whips with you. So today we can start with what I'm wearing, which is my finished object. So I started out knitting this, which is the Salty Days sweater, with Morgan Unraveled and Haley Space when they did their fall knit along of the Salty Days sweater, which is by Kika or Veronica Lindbergh. And I knit this in Lion Brand's LB collection Superwash Merino in the color Quail, which is a really pretty dusty gray purple color, which is a nice color for a soft summer like me. But I am a deep soft summer, so it's probably not in my most ideal color palette, because the things that look best on me are definitely on the deeper end of the palette. Yeah, so I started knitting this at the beginning of September. I was a hair late to the actual knit along. My yarn took its sweet time coming in, and I cast on, I believe, on September 10th, but I'm not sure. And we worked with what we had. And since I'm still a fairly new knitter, this is definitely like one of the most complicated things I have knit to date. And it worked out perfectly, and I love it. I'm really glad it's Superwash. I'll put in some B-roll because yesterday, when I finished binding it off, I tried it on before I washed it and blocked it and was a little concerned. So the sleeves are exactly this length on me. I would probably like them a hair longer. I might knit them a little longer, honestly. They're like a smidge short, but they're much better than I thought. But I will say, personally, I'm not real sure that a drop shoulder is a good look, is a good sweater style, or I feel like the drop shoulder isn't quite the right look on me. I personally think I look better in a raglan, but I'm very pleased with how this turned out. Aside from the picos under the back shoulder are like right in my armpit, and they're cold, my dudes. It is winter. It is deep winter in Maryland. It's interesting how our country is like half frozen over and half on fire. But Maryland's always cold in the winter. It's just this week has been extremely cold, and this is not the sweater for extreme cold. I need to find a really good, well-fitted underlayer in a good matching or contrasting color to wear under this, because that right now. But I am wearing under it, you can't see because I'm wearing what's it called? A long line bralette from Old Navy in the color, I forgot what the color is, like opaline or something. It's like a purple, a dusty purple. And it is a very, very close match to this color, which I'm pleased with. So I'm excited by that. I'm really happy with my finished object. I think this is one of 2 or 3 things I've made this year that I am actually very happy with, and I don't even absolutely have to fix. I went through some of my sweaters, a couple, not last week, the week before last. I went through all my finished projects with you, and of all of those, I think I'm keeping 2. And one of those I'm keeping because it's very difficult to frog no hair, and that is being gifted to someone. So, yeah, I want to keep all of them. I love them. They're beautiful. They're just not quite. Like, I'm still learning. It's really my first full entire year of knitting garments, and I only started knitting garments in the fall of 2023. So it's it's a learning process. I'm still learning how things fit. I'm still learning what style and make works best for me, my body, and how I like to wear clothing. So I think we have a ways to go, and this year will be another year of learning, and hopefully I'll have a year of more finished objects that I want to keep as finished objects. So that being said, we can move on to my whip, and you can learn about the things I'm working on. Only one of those is actually clothing, so we'll move right on. Okay, so as far as finished, only from the long line dress. Okay, so as far as finished objects go, this is the only one. Let's start over. So one of my current whips is I am working on the Sunburst pillow pattern, and this is the majority of it. I am doing it so it's like more of a sideways pillow, and not the size, it's the smaller one. So I need to make. I have made 3 more squares, but I need to make several more squares before I can take it this direction and put it on the pillow, and then crochet or knit the back piece on. I think I'm just going to do the back flat because it's a lot of work. It's taken me about 6 months to get this far. So, it's really pretty, it's really fun, it's really solid. But I feel like it would be nice to have a more like solid, plain, finished product on the back. So it's a really easy thing to like flip over, flip around, and change the style with what you like to do. So that is my first whip. And my second whip is I'm working on my summer fade Hexi blanket as part of the Blanketalong that Knitting Traditions is doing. So I've got this week, since the beginning of January, I worked on I have 8 of these squares. These are the ones I did. So these are all in what is it called? Heartland yarn by Lion Brand, and it is their like national park colorway. So I forget which color this one is. This is like a green color, and it is a national park in Arizona. I can remember everything about the park, but not the name at the moment. Oops. So these are some I finished. So I have all of these, and then I started yesterday I started working on Mount Rainier National Park colorway in, this is the Mount Rainier tweed color. So it's like a rainbow speckled tweed on a gray. And I find this really fun. I think I really like tweed. I'm really enjoying working on this. Aside from the little neps like come out, and there's little neps all over everything else I do. But I have two of these. The other one I have only half finished, so that. So those are the progress on my Hexi fade, summer fade Hexi blanket. And then I have ordered my joining yarn color, and it's just a basic white color. So when I get that, I'm going to start doing the join as you go to get it going. And then the other thing I spent a lot of this week working on, actually I started on Monday, so oops. Bye, Darren. Back here. Okay. So I've shared before that I had knit a hat for Michelle knits for Michelle in these yarns as well. So these are my LB collection baby alpaca in charcoal and lilac, I think, or lavender, I'm not sure. So these two together, I am working up my amalgamation hat. So basically, it's going to be a headband. So I'm doing the same headband style as the Nordic Rose headband pattern, which starts with a 2x2 rib that you flip to put on the inside, and then you have a picot edge, so it's easier to flip it. So that's kind of how this looks when it's flipped. So I am knitting this. The pattern, the colorwork pattern is from the Snow Leopard Beanie or Snow Leopard Hat by Arena Bill, and that is also a free pattern. So I'm just using the colorwork chart from the Snow Leopard and some of the counts from the Snow Leopard to make the colorwork chart, and then I'm using the construction style and method from the Nordic Rose. So that is the hat. I am doing a couple more, like a half a repeat of the colorwork chart so that I can get a slightly wider headband, because I'm kind of afraid this won't cover my ears enough with it being so cold. And I didn't do the extra, like the way the Nordic Rose works is it has a big band of like solid at the end, right when you switch over from the Pico, and I only did a couple of rows, like 2 or 3 rows of a solid as opposed to like 5 or 6 or whatever. So I just need a couple, I need like 5 to 10 more rows of colorwork to make sure there's enough hat there to actually keep my ears warm. So that is my Snow Leopard band style hat that I'm working on. That is my third and final bit for today. So I thought, since I have today's just really short video, I thought I would talk a little bit about I'm going to talk about my winter plans, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about my knitting bingo card. So I will put this I will put this on the side so you can share it and see it, but I'll hold it up now. So yeah, I'm using the same knitting bingo card that Sarah's handmade shared on her video, because I've never seen one before, honestly. I did a make 9 last year, and I think I made 3 of those things. So I think the bingo is good for me because it is much more broad, and like I have left it very open-ended, so there's a lot of like I could do something from this designer, or I could do something in this style, or I could use this yarn. Like it's very, very overview style as opposed to very specific and narrow. Like there are a couple very narrow ones. Like for example, I really want to actually knit my plush flowers cardigan, and I am planning to do that this year. Also, I have my yarn from Neighborhood Fiber Co. And that is the next. So when I'm done with this, I have two big projects I'm going to be working on. One is a secret project. I can't share about that, but that is more of a complicated bit. So that one is over here by itself. And then I'm going to knit my Neighborhood Fiber Co. yarn from the Rhinebeck collection into a cardigan. So that's going to be kind of a basic, like, stockinette cardigan. Because I only have one cardigan so far. I only have two sweaters. So I'm very much a cardigan girl, and I would like to have another cardigan. And also, this is kind of a challenging colorway for me, so I'm hoping that doing it in a cardigan, I can put it like over with my more typical clothing, and it will be easier for me to wear. Right, so for example, I don't know, let's start with some of the things I'm planning on knitting. Is it still technically winter? We'll say it's winter until my birthday, which is the end of March. Right, so once I have the correct yarn to cast on my secret project, because none of my yarns are working, from then until my birthday, I'm not planning on buying any more yarn. So that is one of my hopes. I can't guarantee it, but I hope that will be what I do. So that's only like a 2-month yarn ban. Really, if I can't do that, there's nothing wrong. But yeah, so that's one thing to start. So that, and with my secret test project, I'm going to be using it is a DK weight, so I'm using a more like regular solid color, but I'm going to also be using all the scraps from my scrap advent exchange that I did around Christmas. So I'm going to use those together. I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. Another example, like on here, also has Neighborhood Fiber Co. yarn. So I have the Asheville colorway that I'm working on for sure. And then I also have a whole bunch of lace weights that I can look into using. And I might, but they're lace weights, so it might be a little more challenging. I don't ever knit anything quite that small of a gauge. And next, right, I have like knit something by Laura Penrose. And so Laura Penrose has, what is today? Today the 25th. I believe Laura Penrose has her Midlands cardigan coming out this weekend, maybe. And I'm already planning on knitting that. That is my like third cast on. And I have this Scout. What is this? It's called Cowboy Woolen Scout, which is a DK weight, and I have it in the color Wisteria Heather. So I love this. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to knit. I'm hoping to knit the Midlands cardigan. I believe I have enough. We'll be more sure once it comes out and I swatch for it, but this is my third hopeful cast on. But also, for my bingo, I just have like designers on here. So if I don't end up knitting the Midlands, I could knit her Maxine sweater, or I could knit her sibling sweater. Both are which patterns I have already. Or I could knit a t-shirt, her the ruffle tee, I forget what it's called, the souffle. Or I could knit from one of the other many designers I have on here. So for example, I also have Hohila Katari. I have her what's it called? her long summer cardigan, I think, like a V-neck, long, kind of duster style cardigan pattern. So that's another one that I might knit depending on how things work out. Like I'm also looking at that one. It's from my neighborhood fiber co yarn because it's possible the pattern I was looking at might not work with the gauge. So that's another example. Also, I really want to knit a waffle knit cardigan of some style. I'm looking at the one by Amy Christophers, but it may depend. I have a waffle knit pattern by Claire Jackson as well. That might be a possibility. I definitely want to knit another pattern by Veronica Lindberg. It's beautiful. This is such a fun knit. Dang it. Why did it shrink? This is such a fun knit, except I think I might need to make the sleeves a bit longer. I thought it was okay. Alright, well, yeah. So this was one, but I would like to knit her. I have her bug note tank, which I think if I knit it and do some of the things like For You does, where she just goes up in needle size as the tank goes down to make it a little bit more loose. That might be more of a style that I like. So I'm thinking about knitting that one by Katovika, or I have her Darling cardigan as well. And then also I definitely want to knit Sari Nordland's book club cardigan, but I don't know for sure which yarn I will use for that one. I have my Alpaca Cloud DK from Knit Picks in the color Nora, but I don't know if I have enough. And I believe there were some discrepancies on the yarn amounts for that sweater as well. So kind of depends. I am also planning on this year, I'm going to knit, I've knit 2 pairs of socks last year. So this year I would like to knit at least 3 pairs of socks for me and possibly one for my husband. So I'm not going to push myself much beyond that, but my partner is a 6'6" cisgender man, and he has size 15 feet. So knitting those is going to be a process. So once I have done my test, I think I'm going to cast on and start working on socks for him. And I enjoyed my socks. I really enjoyed my vanilla socks last year, so I think this is something I can do. Like, there's a lot of different things I want to do. Like, for example, I want to see if I can find yarns. Like, I've seen a lot of people talking about this Merino fluff yarn, and when they talk about it, it looks so soft and cozy, and I want to be able to use a fluffy yarn, but I cannot handle mohair, so I'm hoping that's something that might work for me, but we'll have to find out. I want to knit a replacement for my stripy sweater that I have shared on this account before. I have a pattern that I'm thinking about that might work, but I will have to do some swatching to see because I don't know. I want to learn knitting brioche this year. I have a hat pattern that I might try for that. I am also planning on knitting a Wicked inspired cowl. I'm planning on doing the Shift cowl by Andrea Mowry for that one, and I don't think I have Andrea Mowry on here. I do not. Okay. Yeah, and then also my goal for this year is I am not applying to any more test knits. I really enjoy the test knit process, but I think I'm maybe too much of a beginner knitter to be enough used to them right now. And then also, aside from this one that I'd already applied for before I made that goal, I like knitting to deadline. I feel like the deadlines are helpful for me, but at the same time, it's generally just a little too much pressure. And I have yet to end up with a finished object I enjoy. So I am putting test knits to the side for the rest of this year. yeah, like I have a lot of goals and plans. I would love to share about what you are thinking about doing this year for your knitting goals and plans. I would love to hear about your next 5 projects for the winter if you think you can get through that many. I mean, really, honestly, let's be honest. Here are the projects I can probably get through. If I'm being realistic with myself, I can finish this hat by the end of this week, probably. So I can finish the neighborhood fiber coast cardigan I'm going to start. I can finish my test knit because I'm going to have to. And I can finish what the other thing I was working on. Right. I can probably finish something in this yarn by the end of March. But that is wishful thinking because it took me 5 months to knit this sweater. And I mean, but it is a complicated sweater. And also we just have a lot of stuff going on. But I guess we'll see, right? So I would love to hear. I'm going to attach a link to the link for this bingo that I shared and left up here for most of the video in my description down below for you. So if you think you might want to play bingo, yarn bingo with us, um, I'd love to hear what you're planning on knitting. And I'd love to hear if you've hit any of your yarn bingo squares yet this year. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a wonderful January, despite everything that's going on in the US at least. If you're anything like me, you're burying your nose in your knitting and trying to figure out how to be there for your friends and how to build a better, more, what I want, in person, in real life, trying to build a community in person again, now that things are different. I'm finding that I personally really miss having an in-person community, and I don't have any in-person yarn knitting people in my life. I have lots of creator friends. Lots of my friends understand what I'm doing. A lot of sewists, a lot of like costumers, a lot of writers. I know lots of creative people in the Mid Atlantic, but I really want that yarny connection, right? Like one of my goals and dreams that I'm working at this year is kind of putting my feelers out to build a yarn community here in Baltimore. Note for my Baltimoreans, I am a Baltimorean. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm not from Baltimore. If you didn't guess. So first of all, I'm deaf. So learning how to pronounce words uh, correctly in the Mid-Atlantic is really difficult for me because a lot of portions of the language are not visible on the lips. Um, and then on top of that, I am originally from Colorado, so my accent is kind of a mishmash of Colorado and deaf, and my parents are both from the like Northeast, so you know, if I'm not saying it right, please do forgive me and give me a really good phonetic how-to because it's tough out here in these hearing world streets. But anyway, yeah. So my thought this year, and I hope you may join me on this imagining on this giant dream, I guess, is I'm hoping to build a community of other yarn enthusiasts, other fiber artists in the local greater Atlantic area, but I'm not quite sure what kind of community I'm thinking of. Kind of between do I want to start a yarn and fiber crafting space or a store? Do I want to start a nonprofit, or I just want to start like a knitting group that gathers every week? Yeah, if you're around here, tell me which of those sounds good to you and what sort of community space you're needing in your life, um, as another fiber artist in the great big wide internet. So I hope you're well. Um, I hope you get through the rest of January warm with no frozen pipes or all your things and safety are intact, at least for now. And I will be here in my little corner of the internet, always welcoming you. So, till then, take care, be well, and I will see you soon. Bye.